Rod Brind'Amour is the Carolina Hurricanes. Cup captain in 2006, two-time Selke Trophy winner, head coach since 2018, Jack Adams winner in 2021, multiple Eastern Conference Finals runs, the face of the modern franchise. He built their Hurricanes way. He built the identity. He built the culture that just won the 2026 Stanley Cup. But just 2 years ago, Carolina came within days of losing him as the coach. And not just to any team, to Ron Francis. And here's how the guy who built the modern Hurricanes almost ended up building someone else's team. So let me set the stage here. Brind'Amour has been a part of the Carolina Hurricanes organization for over 2 decades. He was acquired from Philly January 23, 2000. Played 694 games in a Hurricanes jersey. Won the 2006 Stanley Cup wearing that C on his chest. Won back-to-back Selke trophies in '06 and '07 as the best two-way forward, right? Defensive forward. When his playing career ended, he stayed with the organization, helped with player development, assistant coach, and in April 2018 took over as the head coach, right? So what happened next? Jack Adams Award in 2021, fastest head coach in NHL history to reach 300 wins. And what are we at now? 8 consecutive playoff appearances. So he didn't just become our coach. He also rebuilt our franchise after several years of struggle in the 2010s. So his 3-year contract that he signed in 2021 was set to expire July 1st of 2024. And late in the 2023-2024 season, Tom Dundon told the News and Observer, "I think it's all but done." But that's when Ron Francis was starting to make his move. And here's why it was such a threat. Francis played, I think, 3 seasons with Rod Brind'Amour in Raleigh. They knew each other even longer than that. Francis was the Hurricanes general manager. That was when Brind'Amour was rising through the coaching ranks. Dundon became a majority owner in 2018. Francis's tenure as GM ended that year. So in 2019, Ron Francis became the first GM of the Seattle Kraken, the expansion team. So by spring of 2024, Ron Francis had fired the Kraken head coach, and he immediately turned his attention to the coach he knew was the best coach in the NHL, my humble opinion. Former assistant coach who rose through the ranks. He was the GM when Brind'Amour was coach. He played with Brind'Amour. He knew that Brind'Amour's contract was going to expire on July 1st. He was looking for a new head coach. So it was reported at the time by Darren Dreger that the Hurricanes had actually pulled their contract for Brind'Amour. So they were kind of negotiating. And Elliot Friedman was reporting Brind'Amour's name in connection with other coaching openings. So during Carolina's second round series against the Rangers, Brind'Amour's name was, quote, increasingly mentioned in connection to openings elsewhere. And sources close to Brind'Amour, that's what was said he was unsure about his future in Carolina. Now, Tom Dundon publicly claimed that it was all but done, but the negotiations behind the scenes had actually stalled. And then something happened that changed everything. Hurricanes, and it was Brind'Amour's comment. Hurricanes were eliminated by the Rangers in the second round that year. His contract was days from expiring. And the rumor was Ron Francis had a multi-million-dollar front-loaded contract that he was building ready to go as soon as Brind'Amour's contract expired. But on May 19th, a Sunday, really pushing the limits here, Rod Brind'Amour signed a 5-year contract extension with the Hurricanes, with Jeff Daniels, with Tim Gleason, and I think several other coaches. The entire staff got extended. And Don Waddell came out at the time and said the number one priority for us was to make sure we got Rod taken care of. So Brind'Amour had an awesome way of explaining this. He said, "It's hard for me to envision doing this anywhere else. That's the bottom line. What makes it important to me is the people I'm around because I know their commitment and I see it." And then he also added to this quote, "If I was to go somewhere else, I don't know how I could be that same coach because I don't have that commitment. I don't have that background. I don't have that love for the guys that I have here." Humble guy. I mean, come on. Brind'Amour didn't just stay for the money. Reports suggested that the Kraken were offering a multi-million front-loaded contract and were just waiting in the wings. Ron Francis was to pounce as soon as that contract expired. Rod doesn't care about control. He knew Seattle would give him anything he wanted, but he stayed in Carolina because he is Carolina, and Carolina is Rod Brind'Amour. So if Brind'Amour was built as a different kind of guy, uh, then I think we would have been days away from losing the coach that got us the cup. Instead, that's him. He embodies the same thing that his players have embodied in their contract signings and their desire to be Hurricanes. That's why I love this franchise. Go Canes. Caniac like me, hit that like and subscribe. And thank goodness Rod Brind'Amour is our coach, and I hope he is for years to come. Catch you in the next video.